Hello everybody! In today's video, I wanted to tell you something big. Alright? I'm gonna talk about Gamergate 2. Okay? It's been going on for about 5 years now. Holy crap. It's longer than the original Gamergate by like 3 years, you know? It went on, like, the original Gamergate was obviously kind of about gaming, but it was really just a bunch of ladies bitching about their political views, so that way they can try to enforce it into games, and then try to make people do political stuff rather than get into actual, video game things. That's basically what it was in a nutshell. Now, that's not all Gamergate was, but it did change a lot. And Gamergate 2 has been going through quite a lot. And Google doesn't officially recognize it because it hasn't made a big enough cultural impact yet. But I have the feeling in the next, couple of years or so, Google may or may not recognize Gamergate 2. There's a potential there. And if it recognizes Gamergate 2, that's a big deal because people will be looking up that shit. People will be trying to figure that out. Alright? Okay? I know I wrote it in a SlopTuber context, like a SlopTuber title, but I normally don't write titles like this. It's not something I normally make when I make a pre-made YouTube video, it's not something I normally do. And if you guys know my channel, we've done a lot of work on here. We talked a lot of stuff on here. And, I've shared quite a bit of information when it came to gaming. Now, I'm not a gaming channel, and I don't normally talk about gaming, but it's crazy how many times people either think the graphics are not correct, it's not bloody enough, or it's like fucking, you showed a child! You showed a child with the whole Pragmata thing, even if you don't actually like the game, the whole, because of the child, that's a little bullshit. It's like a fucking robot child thing. It's not, this little girl or whatever is not a real human. And people trying to make a big deal about it. Like, wah. Like, all on the noses. And what does this have to do with Gamergate 2? Well, there are the signs. And I bet you that shit will turn official over this. And obviously, Pragmata is not the only game they shit on. They shit on anything as long as it doesn't agree with their politics. It's always about the big 3 no-nos of the world. Whenever, they want to talk shit about a video game. Generally speaking, to these kind of people, it's either about sex, religion, or politics, or a combination of the 3. But generally, it's most likely going to be some form of politics. There's the whole pedo thing. Let's try to abolish ICE or something. They'll say stuff like that. Or they'll be like, everybody should be a communist now because of this bullshit Pragmata game. And that's just one game, I didn't mention all the other stuff with the fucking, certain other things. People not too big of a fan of Mario or, Sonic. The only time they're big fans of it is if they try to make some version of it where it's like, it agrees with my opinion politically. oh yeah, this character agrees with me. You know? Like, if they don't like the game, oh no, it's Smuck. It's Red Pill. It's fucking a right-wing conservative Republican slop. But if it's fucking a game they like, oh no, the characters would agree with me if they were fucking, if they were real, they would agree with me. You know? Like, the whole agree with me thing is so vague, you can literally apply it to the people they disagree with. You know? You could be like, oh no! Because, you know, they're like anti-Orange Man. By that I mean Donald J. Trump, the first. All they have to do is be like, no, Donald Trump would definitely agree with my worldview. You know? That's basically all they really have to do, is that kind of bullshit. And it's like, you can clearly see that that's obviously not true. You know? Like, why would you do that to somebody you politically disagree with? That kind of thing. And what's the whole point of putting politics in video games that have nothing to do with politics to begin with? I could understand if it was a video game, you know, that's based off of your politics, that's based off of, you know, politics in general, that's a political game. But fucking, what's the word? World of Warcraft? You know, I don't know, Fortnite? Yeah, no. No, like, what the fuck, man? I don't care if it's left or right. You put your political bullshit in a game, I'm getting pissed about that shit. Or Expedition 33, or Helldivers, you know? That kind of stuff. Because they're like, oh, but we want world peace by lowering the crime by not reporting it. Yeah, as if talking about your politics, or my politics for that matter, is gonna somehow magically make the game better. Like, what's this have to do with the graphics being worse? Like, why do you have to distribute, you know, things you don't like to, oh, it must have been their political worldview. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, where are we getting to? We are definitely living in, like, a Gamergate thing now. But don't be sad, okay? About this. You don't have to be super happy. You don't have to be super sad about this. Because you know what I'm glad we can do as gamers? Because I'm kind of a gamer. You know, I play video games. And technically, if you like to play any type of game, not just video games, by that logic, you're probably a gamer. So, whatever you want to go with, you can go with. But, anyway, yeah, this whole Gamergate thing, definitely here to stay for a while. You know, to show them to those critics that actually, hey, maybe this game over here is good, or maybe this game over here is a piece of living shit. You know? Like, oh, but you didn't pay the subscription fees. You didn't pay for the fucking money currency, tipping thing. No, I didn't. Olivia Smith. Okay? Olivia Smith, living in fucking California. You know? And I don't care what race you are. White, black, Asian, gypsy, whatever race you may be. Or ethnicity. You gotta understand something. When these people keep trying to inject their politics into everything, just know that these people probably don't even actually play video games. Or if they do, they have to play pre-approved video games to just but they have to go this way. And everything turns into some bullshit walking simulator. And you don't even get to play a game that you wanted to play. You know? And even if you're into, like, walking simulator type stuff, wouldn't you want to actually, you know, play a game? That kind of thing? You know what I mean? They don't seem to understand that if you just left the gamers alone, all of this would have been prevented. All of that would have been prevented. We wouldn't have to have a Gamergate 2. You know, we wouldn't have to have an original Gamergate for that matter. But no, because you saw one of your husbands that one time, one of your boyfriends that you had, you know, your husband's wife's boyfriend, or whatever you want to call him. Alright? Your special other was playing video games a bit longer than you expected, and was just being a man, I guess, and I don't know, watching sports or something. Oh no, he must be misogynistic. Now don't get me wrong, men can have their problems too. They can do bad things, you know. You know, they can get pretty mad. We know that. That one is obvious to most people. But the one, even though it gets complained about a lot too, by other women also, it kind of is hard for them to acknowledge because, oh no, we're the weaker sex, which is just a fancy worm for saying, I'm stronger than my, physically or mentally stronger than, say, my spouse over here of the other gender, but because, I'm female, I have some sort of birthright to basically say, hey, because you're, I don't know, say for example, a white, straight Christian male. Like, I'm being a specific scenario so that way you can get an idea in your head. But, you know, it's just an example. That's one example. Oh no, you must be a terrorist. You must be a fascist. Why am I married to a fascist? And then they go smooch later. But then it's like, oh no, you played a video game. No. You can't play the violent video game. And the violent video game in question is something like goddamn Block Blast. Like, what? Or Tetris. Oh yeah, I'm sure putting blocks into different shapes and shit makes me all of a sudden a kung fu evil man master. Like, what the hell? What the hell, bro? Like, are we lost in the sauce? Are we so lost in the sauce with politics, we just assume anything must be misogyny, must be evilness? Oh no, clearly it was fascist communism or something. You know, some bullshit like that. You know? Because, I mean, yeah, they hate on the men, but it gets even crazier when they find out that the people who made the game are women. It drives them fucking insane, especially if that game is actually good and successful for, like, most people. You know, like, to most people who actually played a video game. You know, that specific video game, whatever it may be, they start going pissy fit. You know, like, I don't know what else to tell you. You know? And they have this gaming strategy to, like, exploit whales and, which is a gaming industry term for, like, people who spend a lot of money on video games. You know? But they basically exploit the shit out of them. And you might go, well, they deserved it because they have a lot of money. But here's the thing, is that person, that whale, might actually be somebody you know. It might be a relative you might have. Older or younger, you know? Regardless of what language, religion, ethnicity, race, height, weight, whatever you want to put it, gender, obviously. There are whales of every kind. Anything that could make you similar or different from somebody else, or, you know, different or similar from me, guess what? Any type of human you could be, there's a whale, at least one of them in there, you know? And there are some people who are just like, for a long, long time, they could hide behind things like traditionalism, or sometimes modernism, but mostly traditionalism for so long. But now that we have the internet, and now that we have society constantly changing, there are just a lot of people that are like, their entire identity is just insert current thing, or sometimes they're a part of now culture, but that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. But in a nutshell, people who are a part of now culture is basically somebody who's around people and are themselves who only think in the immediate now, the right immediate now, you know? The immediate right now. That's basically how they think. Whereas a lot of people of insert current thing are usually just like, if it's not a part of their, like, in either in the year or month or day or sometimes the week, then they're just like, they don't really care about it, you know? Oh, it was from a long time ago? Must have been a fascist, must have been evil, because it wasn't in the year, it wasn't from the current year. So no, no, no! You know, like, it really makes me wonder why there are so many people like this. Are so many people just kind of not thinking, you know? Like, it's to the point where everybody's just kind of like, they're either, you know, they don't take care of themselves at all, they're too busy with everybody else, or they're too focused on themselves and they only focus on themselves when it comes to the internet or when it comes to these kind of people, you know? And it just gets so extreme, especially with video gaming lately. You know, like, you have all those issues with, like, say, Blizzard, for example. You know, they're a shit company. Or Xbox, or PlayStation, or, what's that one company called? Ubisoft, I think they're called? I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with the names of the game companies. But then there are some real dick-in-the-ass ones, like Nintendo, you know? But it's not necessarily because they don't provide good games. They can, and they typically usually do. That's not the issue. The issue is that they're so heavy on the copyright. They're so heavy on, you know, kind of harassing their own audience that they're basically the Disney of video game companies. You know what I mean? Like, they'll let you play with their stuff, but if you sell it, or if you, you know, show it to other people, especially like music stuff, or like, you know, things like, say, having, you know, like, Super Smash Bros. Tournaments or something, you know, where it's like competitions or whatever, that isn't personally approved. And even if it is personally approved, oh no, you didn't go beyond these 2 seconds, so everybody's gotta leave, gotta get fired, you know, gone, gone, gone. We have to take it out. Like, what the fuck? You know, like, you don't have to be super harsh towards your own audience, because they are a dick company, okay? Like, don't get me wrong, they have good games under their history, and they have good games that are, you know, being released throughout, you know, their history, that kind of thing. But, like, again, they are just a dick. They are just, like, so fucking awful, man. Like, they just get on my nerve. Like, they really, really fucking need to get some sort of lesson. And then, speaking of video games, Roblox. Roblox is dominating. You would think that after all that controversy and all those problems when it came to video gaming, you would think that Roblox would be just, disappearing out of popularity. But I think the controversy didn't just make them more popular. I think they're getting extra, big time popular because of the controversy. People are just exploring it because of the controversy. And now it's one of the top downloaded games on the, currently downloaded games on the, Play Store? Play Store, App Store, whatever you call it. That's crazy, man. It really, really makes you think, And, it just gets all over, I would not be surprised if people make, a Gamergate movie, or if it already exists. That'd be crazy, Really, really does make you want to think in your head. But I don't know. Do you have answers? Do you have questions? Do you have thoughts or ideas about this kind of stuff? Do you have anything you want to say? If not, you could if you want to, subscribe. Okay? But anyway, I guess you get the whole idea with the Gamergate stuff. But I shall see you later. Or probably not. But anyway, yeah. What do you think about Gamergate 2? Bye.